Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. We are going to do an old-fashioned get ready with me, and I'm going to talk about some videos from, I don't want to say reaction, because we're not going to do that whole like play part of a video, react to it kind of thing. But months and months ago, in fact, I think it was when I was like driving, maybe during Vlog-A-Day, I was talking about something and I was like, sort of joked about like, oh, maybe we should do a series on life lessons with Lisa or whatever, because you know, the alliteration of all the L's, it sort of rolled off the tongue, right? And I never really did anything with that idea. And recently there have been a bunch of videos that I have been watching where I've had a lot of feelings about them, or I felt like I had some things I wanted to talk about in relation to those videos. And I've been keeping a list actually on my phone, and it just says, you know, like the one we're gonna do today, Meredith's exhaustion video. And anyway, so I have this whole list. And so I thought I would kind of do, I don't know if it's gonna be a series. I don't know what it's gonna turn into. I don't think it will be one of my regular uploads. So I normally upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'll probably just throw it in as an extra. But like I said, I have this like backlog of videos that I kind of wanted to talk about. And so I thought we would do it here. But I thought I would do it getting ready with you, because as you know, I'm really finding it hard to find a place to film, and David is actually gone. You can actually see, so you see part of our kitchen right here. You see the microwave and the ice maker and the coffee maker, and what you can't see is the air fryer, which is on the other side of the microwave. But you know, this is my kitchen. Hi, welcome. So I'm just trying to make things work, guys. So like I said, I needed to get ready because I have to film some other videos. And so I thought, you know what, let's do this one as a get ready with me. So today we're going to talk about a video, and I will certainly have it linked below. I will have both Meredith's channel and the specific video linked below. But Meredith did a video recently talking about the exhaustion of luxury, or are we getting exhausted with luxury? And first I'm going to start, and I guess I should get ready while I'm actually doing this, right? So first I'm going to start with a disclaimer, and if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking at my mirror. Just like Meredith did, which is that I completely understand that this is a first world problem. I am not trying to say that, you know, like these are problems that need to be solved in the world. They are clearly not. They are my problem. Maybe some of you are experiencing this, and we'll talk about that. So maybe you're feeling like this too, but in no way do I think that this is something that anybody should be worried about or be stressed about or whatever. There are definitely many, many more important things to worry about, and you know, things that are truly wrong, if we want to say that, with the world. So let's get that out of the way. What I'm talking about here is completely frivolous. It is not a problem, but this is a luxury channel, and so therefore we're going to talk about it. So why, and so Meredith talked about, you know, are we getting exhausted? You know, we've seen some creators, you know, stop doing luxury content, you know, and moving into a different form of content. We've seen creators who have just completely stopped uploading. You know, they aren't doing their channel anymore. We've seen, you know, content creators who are going more of the minimalist route, etc. And so, you know, sort of the question is I don't know, are we over luxury? Are we, you know, is it something we don't want to talk about anymore? But so in other words, are we exhausted by it? Or is it just too much? And maybe, you know, maybe in relation to what's going on in the world, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But anyway, here are a couple of things as I was thinking about, you know, why we may be exhausted by luxury that I came to mind. And I think, you know, Meredith talked about some of these too. The first one is just the sheer number of collections that, you know, the houses are coming out with. So, you know, let's take Louis Vuitton as, I think, a prime example. And I actually mentioned this in a video, gosh, back when we still lived in our house. So it was before we even moved into, you know, our temporary apartment in Kansas City. So that's months and months and months ago. I mentioned, and I think I even said in the video, like, this is going to be a controversial comment, but that I felt like luxury was, especially Louis Vuitton, is becoming like fast fashion, because they literally, I honestly feel like Louis Vuitton drops pieces just about as often as H&M. Now, maybe you think that's an exaggeration because, you know, I don't keep track of how often H&M drops things, but I'm sure it's very, very frequently, and I feel like Louis Vuitton kind of is doing the same. So, you know, if you look at Foxy LV's Instagram account, I will have her Instagram handle linked below. I'm sure all of you follow Foxy LV anyway, and she is amazing. She keeps us all apprised of the new things that are coming out from Louis Vuitton. And like I said, she is an incredible resource. But what you'll see when you follow her is it is constant. So I just wrote down, and I'm going to look down at my notes here. Like, I just scrolled through Foxy's Instagram over the last like couple weeks or so. So there was a drop on June 2nd of all of the new Epi Almas, not the big ones that are coming back, but the BBs in a whole bunch of new colors in Epi leather. Then on 6/16, they were dropping this, I think it's a new style called the Sac Sport, and also the Empreinte Pochette Métis East-West bags. Then on the 23rd of June, they are dropping part 2 of By the Pool. And then on June 30th, we're going to get the new Capucine colors coming out with like the multicolored chains. Okay, those are 4 dates just in June alone, where Louis Vuitton is coming out with new items. I think that is insane. And this is coming from somebody, like I said, who I have all of a sudden just like really found, you know, sort of found a new love of Louis Vuitton. I've really been enjoying some of the things they're coming out with. I still think they're coming out with too much. But anyway, Chanel. We have 6 seasons, right? We've got A, B, K, C, P, and S, right? And then they throw in Coco Neige, they throw in Coco Beach, so we're already up to 8. I think Super Decap actually says they have 10. I don't know what the other 2 are, but you're basically seeing a new collection from Chanel every other month based on the 6, and then Coco Neige and Coco Beach thrown in there, plus whatever these other 2 ones are. But, you know, you're then seeing something from Chanel close to once a month. That's a lot. So, you know, when these fashion houses first started, they were, you know, two seasons, right? We had autumn, winter, or fall, winter, depending on where you live in the world, and spring, summer. Simple, 2. That's all we had to look forward to, or that's all we had to worry about. You know, now obviously these houses have haute couture and men's, whatever. I mean, it's not like I'm saying that those are the only 2 things they ever produce. But what I am saying is that it used to be a lot more simplistic. You know, so now they have all of these seasonal ones that they do, right? The normal fall, winter, and early spring, and early fall, and whatever. And then they all threw in these like capsule collections. So, you know, for example, like the By the Pool, or Fendi has this Zodiac collection, or astrology, whatever they're calling it. That's a capsule collection. So it's like we get the normal, whatever, however many it is, and then they just, it like I said, it is literally like they are on a hamster wheel or on a merry-go-round, whatever term you want to use to something that just continually goes round and round and never stops. That's what it feels like. Revolving door, you throw in whatever analogy you would like. So the second reason why I think we may be exhausted is because of social media. And I'm a part of social media, right? I mean, I don't consider myself an influencer, but obviously I have a channel, I create content, and so I certainly could be part of the problem. But, as Meredith said, when I grew up, and even probably up to, even 10, 12 years ago, most of us were still getting our fashion information through magazines, right? We had Vogue, these things still exist, but who reads them? We've got Vogue, we've got Harper's Bazaar, we've got Women's Wear Daily, you understand where I'm going here. And so, we relied on those publications to show us what was up and coming. And, given that my husband is also in the media business and specifically magazines, he does a lot of online stuff too, but his business started with print publications. I know how expensive paper is and how much it costs to, produce these things. And there's a certain amount of ad versus, editorial ratio that you need in order to be profitable, etc. But my point is that there are only so many pages in a monthly magazine, and so there's only so much that you can see, right? It's a finite amount of pages, as opposed to Instagram, where you can just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. It's never ending, right? A magazine is, like I said, a finite product. Another thing, we couldn't watch runway shows back in the day. I mean, runway shows were for the uber super elite wealthy, or obviously people who were in the fashion industry, that kind of thing. We didn't have Vogue runway apps at that time. We couldn't watch them live ourselves, let alone, see all of the looks from it, etc. So we've got this way now where we can see what's coming, albeit, not all of it comes, and when it does come, some of it looks different than it did on the runway. But we are able to see what's coming and zoom in and screenshot and do all of those things because we now all have access to the fashion shows. So because of that, we are bombarded with images, right? Whether it be from the fashion show, that we're either watching live or, like I said, going on to the Vogue runway app and seeing it, the next day or a few hours after to see all the images. We are seeing influencers gifted items, to promote on their, individual social media pages, so that we're seeing what the new it bag is going to be, or what the fashion houses want us to think the new it bags are going to be, because they are gifting them to the influencers. And the whole purpose of that, of course, is to influence us to buy those it bags and those bags that they're gifting to influencers. Our Instagram feeds are flooded with, ads by the actual brands, with influencer posts, that are being paid by the brands to promote those products. And then just, the average consumer like you or me, maybe I'm not average, I don't know, but, like I said, I don't consider myself an influencer, but, even just your, friend, Bobby Joe, that lives next door, that got a new Louis Vuitton bag, and, she's just posting a picture of her with it. It doesn't have to be an influencer. We just see it. My point is that we literally see it everywhere. And then if you're like me, maybe you are in some Facebook groups. So, this Facebook group, which I love, which is sole purpose is to help people get items from new collections from the boutique, so they don't have to go and pay a reseller. But they have albums on those Facebook pages of items. So they basically take the Vogue runway, feed and take pictures of those and put those in albums so that we all know, 6 months in advance. And then as additional information comes in, usually from Asia, because for some reason they seem to get information first, they'll post actual, like it looks like it's like almost like screenshots from like the iPads or whatever that Chanel uses, for example. Most of these are Chanel, although they do have some other brands that they'll put in albums that are coming, but the kind of the main focus of this group seems to be Chanel pieces. But so then, as like I said, as they get more information and clearer pictures and the actual product codes and the prices are generally in euro, but the prices and the color codes of everything. So, all the mini flaps, what they're going to come in, lambskin, and then all the color codes and the prices. And I'll pop a picture up of kind of what I'm talking about here. But I mean, it's my point is that the information is never ending. Like I said, at least when we were with magazines and things, you read the magazine and then, back then we didn't recycle. Now I guess we'd recycle it. But my point is that, you read through it and then you threw it away. You didn't sit, it wasn't as persistent as it is now. So the question is, do you all feel exhausted by all of this, or is it just like people like me who are creating content? I mean, I don't know about you all, but it creates not only exhaustion, but a sense of overwhelm, I guess. And it only exacerbates FOMO, if you ask me. So like I said, I mean, maybe it's just content, creators that are sort of feeling this because, we feel like it's our job to bring you the information as quickly as we can. So, maybe some of you aren't in these Facebook groups, and, maybe you're not scrolling on Instagram 4 hours a day, or I don't scroll on Instagram 4 hours a day. I hardly ever go on Instagram, which is why you generally don't see very much stuff on my feed, because I'm really bad about it. But my point is that, we, or at least I feel like, one of the things I should do for you all is to let you know what's coming, and so that hopefully I can impart some fabulous wisdom, which I clearly don't have, but being somebody who loves luxury, who has enjoyed buying it and not enjoyed selling it, but learned things over the years that we can maybe look at some of these collections and be able to give some sort of honest opinions on whether or not we think it's worth it, or whether there might be a different or a better option out there, etc., something like that. So like I said, I feel like I need to keep up so that I can inform you all of what's coming and what might be a good idea to buy. So yeah, I mean, I'd be really curious to know your thoughts. How are you feeling? Do you feel like there is just more and more out there? Are you turned off from watching luxury YouTube because you just feel overwhelmed by the information we're bringing you all? Or does it make you feel bad? I mean, that again, when we're talking about what's going on in the economy and in the world as it relates to inflation and layoffs and things, and like I said, people really struggling with making just regular ends meet. Is it something maybe you don't really have a desire to watch right now because it makes you uncomfortable, or and maybe it's not that you personally are struggling with things, but maybe just the way you are as a person, you might feel bad about not even just buying but watching luxury content, that it's sort of like you shouldn't do that when times are tough. And this I feel like a lot of these topics are intertwined. So, it goes sort of to the quiet luxury discussion, right? Where people are saying, oh, well, quiet luxury is popular right now because, people don't want to wear loud luxury and like throw that in people's faces who can't afford them, which in a previous video, I've talked about the fact that I think that that's frankly bullshit. I don't think anybody who is walking around and who has the kind of money to buy typical quiet luxury brands, the Loro Piana, the Brunello Cucinelli, the Rowe, things like that. Like those people are not walking around wearing that because they don't want to offend people that can't, pay their grocery bills and keep their lights on. Like, come on, really? But, my point is that, maybe, you do feel bad about, what you're consuming and what you're watching, etc. Maybe that has an impact on some of you. I'll do my lips later. But yeah, so I would really be curious to hear your thoughts. Are you exhausted? Maybe as just sort of a casual consumer of luxury, maybe you haven't noticed sort of the uptick of releases and the volume that these fashion houses are producing, and like I said, the number of posts on your social media about things. So like I said, I would love to have a discussion in the comments. Are you feeling exhausted? I'm not saying that I feel exhausted, but it makes me feel, I wouldn't say FOMO, but it does bring a point of like wanting to keep up, and not necessarily wanting to keep up from a purchasing standpoint, although being here in New York, I'm exposed to a lot more things. I have access to a lot more things, and so I'm able to buy more. But it does make me anxious, I guess, and also it makes it so that I don't seem to be able to enjoy what I have. And I think that is probably one of the worst results that comes from this never-ending, constant flow, merry-go-round of luxury items, is that no sooner have you bought an item from, Louis Vuitton's spring summer collection, as then, 2 weeks later, they're dropping, 5 new styles and the By the Pool capsule collection and, all these other pieces. And it just, when do we get to enjoy what we own? I don't think I will ever be a minimalist when it comes to, and that's another video actually that I want to touch on, is Classics with a Quirk, and I'll link the video below. Recently came out with a video about minimalism versus mindful spending and purchasing in the luxury community, and again, it's on my list of videos that I kind of want to touch on. But yeah, it like I said, it makes me sad. I mean, I kind of go into my closet where I don't even have all my bags right now, but just, I've added quite a few bags to my collection, especially since moving here. And I go in and I'm like, oh, I want to carry that bag, but I just got this bag and I feel like I should carry it, but if I carry that bag, then I will never have carried this bag. It really, I feel bad that I'm not using my bags. And that's gonna happen if you have a collection of more than 5 bags, right? I think we all know that none of us buy these things for a utilitarian perspective. If we did, we'd all probably not have any more than 5 bags, and they'd all cost less than $100, and maybe even they would be luxury, but you wouldn't need more than 5 and you would be just fine. You'd be at purse piece. But generally, I think if you're looking at it from a utilitarian perspective, you don't even, first piece is not a thing for you, right? It's just purely a utilitarian concept, and you use your bags because they serve a function, and that's it. Not because, like me, you think they're beautiful things and you just really enjoy beautiful things. So let's have a dialogue in the comments below. I would love to know your perspective. Are you feeling overwhelmed? Do you think that there's too much luxury content out there? Would you like to see my channel go in a different direction, or, you know, talk about other things other than just, you know, new collections and unboxings and things like that? And I have a whole list of videos to film that I've kept since the beginning of my channel, you know, video ideas. And I have to say, I'm finding that I'm not able to film those because of all of the collections that are dropping, and wanting to show you guys the new collections as they drop in stores. Since I have the opportunity now to do these vlogs and show you these new collections, I know as somebody who didn't live in an area where I could see those things firsthand, I had to rely on other creators to be able to see those luxury collections. So I feel like I'm like trying to do a service for people who, like me, didn't have that opportunity. But in doing so, it's made it so that there are videos that I want to talk about that, you know, may not be just about the newest bag or whatever, reviews and wear and tear videos and first impressions and things like that, that I just don't have time. I mean, unless I want to put out 5 videos a week, and I don't have time to film 5 videos a week and edit them and get them up, that are now being like pushed farther and farther and farther down the road. That's why when I had this concept of doing these videos, I mean, there are some videos on this list that, you know, somebody put out like a month ago that I want to touch on, but I just haven't had that chance because I'm doing things on all these new collections and whatever. Anyway, I'm just rambling, but I would really love to know your thoughts in the comments. So let's have a conversation. Would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed my face of makeup, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up. Like I said, I will link all the products down below that I used. I will have to remember right now to pull out those products so I can note them, so I can put them in the description box. But thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, I would really love it if you would. We are so getting closer and closer to 2,000 subscribers, and I just love interacting with all of you. That's why I started my channel, was to have a community that I could talk to about beautiful things. So if you are watching my videos and you like and enjoy the content, I would love it, like I said, if you would subscribe, and so you know every time I upload a video. But thanks again for watching. Wherever you are, I hope you are having an amazing day or evening, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.